Hey guys, in this video I'm going to make my rating of top 7 most secure browsers on the market. The rating will include several technical tests, speed and security, reputation check, and some other parameters. I will mention some alternative browsers that might surprise you, as well as several common browsers to avoid. Most of them are free, but there are commercial ones as well that have free plans. Watch this video till the end for an exclusive freebie bonus that you will find useful, and also a list of several common browsers that are more dangerous than you think. Before we start, I will describe what we're going to test and what the results mean. Browser privacy and security are not easy to evaluate, but I will try different methods and then sum it up into my personal favorite rating with nominations. All links for the tools mentioned will be in the description. So, here are my 7 methods for evaluation. Number 1. Privacy. I will use pixelscan.net as a universal checking tool for several browser security parameters. It has 5 points that need to be authentic: user agent, location, IP address, hardware, and fingerprint consistency. 5 out of 5 is a great result, 4 is average, 3 or less is poor safety. I will give comments on each browser. Number 2. Speed. We will use Browserbench Speedometer to measure actual browser speed dealing with different kinds of web page, scripts, and apps. This tool gives a speed number as a result, which is easy to compare. Number 3. Basic SSL certificate warning test. I will go to expiredbadssl.com, which is a special website with the broken certificate trigger, and see if the browser shows an error message. That will mean the certificate protection is working. Number 4. Built-in VPN or Proxy IP service. This is not necessary for the browser to be secure. However, a built-in IP service or simple IP changing feature is a great addition to overall security level. Number 5. Is the browser fully open source, closed source, or commercial? Turns out that some browsers claim to be fully open source, but they don't offer the source code to everyone. Also, I will mention a couple commercial browsers on the list as well. They have closed code, but still deserve to be mentioned on my list. And finally, number 6. Has the browser ever been involved in major data leaks, scandals, or controversial news reports? So these are my 6 methods for testing. Let's begin now. My first contender today is Brave browser. Brave is one of the most common options when it comes to private browsing for regular daily needs. Like any software, it has its own flaws I will mention later. Brave is based on Chromium engine, so nothing new or radical. However, Brave is completely open source. It's also owned by a private company based in the US, which is an additional trust factor if you want to support your locals. Brave is known for its good speed, privacy and performance. However, it's not perfect as I mentioned, especially if you're working with social media or more sensitive business use cases I will mention later. As for privacy and security settings, these are quite intuitive here and easy to reach, so you can easily bypass ad trackers. Also, Brave blocks fingerprint tracking. This is a good privacy feature, however it might cause problems on sensitive websites such as, again, social media if you need to work with ads. Blocking the fingerprint tracking on websites such as Google Ads or LinkedIn can get your account restricted. On other features, there is a separate ad system called Brave Rewards you can switch on to receive some compensation for seeing ads, as well as some crypto asset features which can be switched off if you don't need them. They can be convenient if you're a crypto enthusiast. It also has a built-in VPN, which is a paid option for those who need it. However, there are no features to add a proxy or change your IP address manually. Brave simply sends you to add the proxy in the device settings. Now let's visit the broken certificate site. Brave shows a warning, which means the browser works correctly. Now let's move on to our technical tests. On pixelscan.net, Brave only has 3 points out of 5. Still, it deserves at least 4 simply because it blocks the browser fingerprint tracking. And Pixelscan is all about seeing a real authentic fingerprint. That's why I chose Brave is inconsistent on point 5. Let's double check this result with iphate.com. I can see Brave has 4 points here, except in the hardware point, which is the device fingerprint. Next, let's measure the speed with Browserbench Speedometer. Brave gets a 37.5, which is an average result. Before the test, I benchmarked regular Chrome browser, which had 38, so it's pretty much same result. Overall, Brave is a decent secure browser that will fit most users for daily use. From my point of view, it could have more IP features, for example proxy integration. Reputation-wise, Brave is not perfect. Many users mention the ads flaws, which don't belong in privacy tools. However, Brave is still a decent option to my opinion. Also, blocking the fingerprint tracking doesn't always fit the case. If you work with social media or need to manage business accounts, you would need a more advanced secure browser solution. Next up on the list, GoLogin. GoLogin is not a common browser you would usually meet on top privacy ratings. This browser also comes from a US-based company, and it is a commercial anti-tag browser, which means it's mostly used for business rather than personal privacy needs. Still, I think it totally belongs to the list of top secure browsers. To my opinion, it is the safest option from the anti-tag browser space. GoLogin is based on a Chromium engine stripped from all Google connections, and it is closed source. It is commercial but has a free forever plan. Compared to Brave, Firefox and other tools, GoLogin is able to create real browser fingerprints and connect IP addresses to each of browser instances from a separate dashboard, which makes every browser window completely isolated and truly anonymous. This means GoLogin is way more technically advanced compared to any other browser on the list. This technology is widely used by marketing agencies who need to run social accounts for clients, avoiding account restrictions. Compared to Brave and Chrome, GoLogin does not block or leak your original device, IP address or browser data, giving you new clean profiles with new IPs instead. On the reputation side, GoLogin has best reviews in anti-tag browser space and hasn't been involved in any serious data leaks or news reports, compared to other contenders in the area, for example AdSpower or Dolphin Anti-Browser, which both have been mentioned in major user data leaks. Considering the browser updates, GoLogin will update several times a month, which means the team is closely watching the safety. GoLogin also offers a built-in Proxy IP service, which is a necessity for those operating several commercial accounts. I will check the IP quality with PixelScan as well, but I also need to say this is a great addition to safety. Most other browsers on the list offer paid VPNs at best, which are not always safe, can leak your original IP or have limited functionality. For the safety side of things, it's always better if you have full access to changing your IP address manually. The downsides of GoLogin compared to most common browsers are this. First, being commercial, although it has a free plan. Second, it has a learning curve. GoLogin has a separate browser window dashboard, which is quite intuitive but will be new for most people. Apart from that, it is the absolute most secure browser if you need to run social media or other corporate website accounts, especially with the team. GoLogin will not leak your personal data to social platforms, thanks to every window being a separate, unique device. Let's move on to technical tests. First, let's go to the badge certificate website. I can see the basic safety trigger works fine here with GoLogin. Now let's move on to Browserbench Speedometer. As I mentioned before, this website runs a ton of different type web apps and scripts to check how the browser engine deals with them. GoLogin comes out with 34, which is a bit slower than Brave and Chrome, however still a decent result, tolerable for a custom engine browser. Next up on the line, PixelScan. I expect a total 5 out of 5 from GoLogin, as the team claims the browser is fully anonymous. And seems that is true. My GoLogin profile with the built-in proxy IP address from the US has all 5 green points, which means best possible security. The Chromium browser core version is not the most recent one, however PixelScan shows that both the device fingerprint and IP are completely authentic, not altered or masked, which is quite difficult to achieve and means that the browser is safe. Overall, GoLogin can be definitely considered a top secure browser, especially for commercial use with multiple accounts on social media. It has a learning curve, but it's tolerable, knowing that inside it's mostly like Chrome with a profile dashboard. GoLogin has a great fingerprint tracking protection, solid reputation of a company, and a decent IP service out of the box. Now let's talk about the DuckDuckGo browser. DuckDuckGo is one of the most recognized names in the privacy space, mostly known for its search engine, but the company also develops a browser, focused entirely on privacy-first, daily use and safe search. Like most contenders, the browser is based on a modified Chromium core. DuckDuckGo is fully free and open source, also developed by a private US-based company. It has a clean design and automatically blocks trackers, ads and third-party cookies out of the box. There is no built-in VPN or proxy IP support. The browser doesn't let you manually change your IP address, which to me is a drawback. Instead, it focuses purely on blocking trackers and not protecting your identity. Some of its privacy-focused features include Fire button, which instantly clears all the browser data and tabs, and the privacy grade system that rates each website's tracking level. It also claims to block fingerprinting attempts, although in reality this is limited to very basic blocking elements. In daily use, DuckDuckGo feels lightweight and simple. However, the strict blocking policies can sometimes cause problems. for example login issues or broken layouts on heavily tracked websites, such as, of course, social media or personal website dashboards. It's not a browser for professional work or business use, as it lacks any kind of profile isolation, real anonymity or IP control features. On the reputation side of things, DuckDuckGo also hasn't been flawless. The browser has been involved in injecting tracking scripts in agreement with Microsoft. The company later admitted the exception and eventually limited Microsoft tracking, but I'm not sure if it's been eliminated today. Now let's move on to the technical tests. First, let's check the broken certificate site. DuckDuckGo correctly shows a warning, which means the basic SSL safety works fine. In terms of speed, even after several runs, Browserbench Speedometer gives DuckDuckGo only a 28, which is below previous options. Still, the minimal interface and lightweight engine make DuckDuckGo fast enough for general work and private browsing, though not ideal for web apps or complex dashboards. Keep that in mind. On pixelscan.net, DuckDuckGo scores 3 out of 5, just like Brave. It blocks most of the tracking data, including browser fingerprint tracking. This is expected since the browser focuses on blocking rather than simulating real device fingerprints or browser behavior. Overall, DuckDuckGo browser is not perfect, but still it is a good lightweight privacy tool for daily users who value ad-free space and alternative search engines. This browser lacks advanced anonymity or IP management and has been involved in ad tracking without consent, but now it does provide a clean, tracker-free browsing experience. For casual users, DuckDuckGo is one of the decent and straightforward alternative options, but for professionals or social media people, it only offers a surface-level privacy. Next up on the list is OneBrowser. OneBrowser is also not a common tool for top secure browser ratings, still I decided to mention it here as best free browser with an anti-fingerprint engine. It is a new contender in the category, positioning itself as a free alternative to big players like GoLogin. Like most others, it's based on the Chromium engine, however in this case the interface and general experience are deliberately identical to Google Chrome, but with no Google tracing at all. The profiles look like you are using Chrome, but they are completely separate. Also, there are built-in device fingerprint emulation and Proxy IP features. The main appeal of OneBrowser is that it offers both a free plan with 10 separate browser profiles and built-in free proxies, which is quite rare for this type of software. As the team claims on their website, OneBrowser is US-based and is primarily targeted at marketers, freelancers and small teams who need to manage multiple website accounts without paying for a full commercial solution. These can be expensive. Some downsides are this. Compared to other anti-tag browsers, OneBrowser offers less control over fingerprint customization. You cannot fine-tune system parameters like WebGL or hardware emulation to the same extent. This makes it easier to use for beginners, but it is a limitation for professional or team use. Still, with all the seemingly basic UI, OneBrowser seems to have a powerful security engine under the hood, definitely capable of higher security than previous options. The built-in proxy service is a standout feature, though it's not perfect. Free plan allows for some amount of free data center proxy IPs, and paid plans give access to residential and mobile proxies. This might be a good solution for basic multi-profile tasks out of the box. Custom proxies can also be used without limitations, which is always a big plus for security. In terms of privacy overall, OneBrowser performs like a decent secure anti-tag browser, pretty much like GoLogin, which is honestly surprising. However, it is a new product, so its reputation and long-term reliability haven't been fully established yet. There's little independent info or public security reviews available, something to keep in mind if you're planning sensitive operations. Now let's move on to the technical tests. Visiting the Broken Certificate website, OneBrowser correctly shows a security warning, meaning the basic SSL protection works as expected. On Browserbench Speedometer, OneBrowser gets a 32, same level as GoLogin but slightly below Chrome and Brave. I consider this a brilliant result for a free tool working with its own free proxy IP address. On PixelScan, OneBrowser achieves a surprising 5 out of 5 points, which to me is absolutely outstanding, credit to the team here. I am surprised because, as you know, PixelScan checks for fingerprint authenticity. Consistent mark here means that every OneBrowser profile will have a real separate fingerprint. The free data center proxy is also completely clean, which means the browser is quite secure. Overall, OneBrowser is an excellent entry-level anti-tag browser, ideal for people who want to perform daily basic tasks with multiple profiles and proxy IPs without paying for premium tools. It's very simplistic, offers real value with proxies in multiple profiles, and has a good potential for high-level security on more sensitive websites. Next up on the list, Vivaldi. Vivaldi is a feature-rich browser developed by the co-founder of Opera. It is a Chromium-based browser with a strong focus on customization and privacy. Unlike DuckDuckGo or Brave, which are aimed primarily at privacy simplicity, Vivaldi tries to combine privacy with deep user control and flexibility, making it more of a power user browser. The browser itself is based on open Chromium code, but it is still closed source, meaning you have to trust the company with what they can add to the browser without consent. In terms of reputation though, Vivaldi has a great standing overall, and no major data leaks or scandals. The company only faced some criticism for connections to Chromium, which cannot be considered seriously. The team has been transparent, clearly stating what it collects and what it doesn't, which is a good sign. Vivaldi offers many unique features right out of the box: workspaces, tab stacking, split screen view, translation tools, and many more. On the IP address management, Vivaldi is integrated with Proton VPN, which you can use with your Vivaldi account. Proton is a decent company with a good reputation. However, apart from that, there's no other manual proxy IP management. Similar to Brave, Vivaldi sends you to change system-level proxies, which is a downside. As for privacy settings, they are extensive but not as straightforward as in Brave or DuckDuckGo. You can control all the usual privacy parameters directly from the settings menu, but notice the tool does not have browser fingerprinting blocks. I will mention this in a second. Now let's move on to our testing part. On the broken SSL certificate side, Vivaldi correctly shows a warning for invalid SSL, which means the browser's basic safety is working. Next, the Browserbench Speedometer, Vivaldi scores a 39, which is the best result by far. Benchmarked Chrome had 38, which is pretty much the same result. This is a well-deserved productivity browser mark. On pixelscan.net, Vivaldi gets 5 out of 5, but this result is not as good as it seems. Looks like this browser does not have any blocking or protection from browser fingerprint tracking, so on most social media and other commercial websites, your actions and behavior will be tracked as personal data. This is definitely a worse privacy level than other compared tools. Overall, Vivaldi is a powerful, but a bit less secure browser that fits users who want privacy, but also deep customization and productivity tools. It's not the best choice for anonymity, but for personal and professional users who want a fast, flexible experience, it's one of the most capable browsers in its class. Next up, we have Mullvad browser. Mullvad browser is a relatively new but highly respected entry in the privacy space. It's developed by the same team behind the Mullvad VPN service, which is based in Sweden, in partnership with the Tor project team. These names should tell you this browser is serious about anonymity and not just basic privacy. Technically, Mullvad browser is based on Firefox with modifications to minimize all kinds of tracking and fingerprinting. The browser is completely open source and free to use, and the VPN offers a fixed monthly price of €5. If that matters, this is twice cheaper than Brave VPN. In short, Mullvad browser follows the concept of Tor browser, but removes the Tor network dependency. It's built for users who want Tor-level protection, but prefer to use their own VPN or proxy setup. This makes it perfect for advanced privacy enthusiasts and professionals who need anonymity but don't want the slow speeds coming with Tor. As for the features, Mullvad browser doesn't include many extras or add-ons. Content filtering with uBlock origin extension, cookie isolation, fingerprint blocking measures are on by default. It also supports connecting through any proxy or VPN, and of course works seamlessly with Mullvad's own VPN client, although you can set up a different connection, for example your custom proxy, which is a great plus for security. Be aware that the strong blocking measures in Mullvad also mean the browser can break functionality on certain websites. For example, for social media or ad platforms, the identical fingerprints from multiple users are a trigger for account restriction, where Mullvad can simply break the login process. Let's move on to the technical tests. On the broken SSL certificate site, like all previous browsers, Mullvad browser displays a warning confirming the base security works correctly. Then, on Browserbench Speedometer, Mullvad wasn't able to run the tests for the reason I just described. Some of the Speedometer web apps simply don't work. Turning the default tracking feature off did not help. With the switch on, the test wasn't even loading. Anyways, I'm assuming that the speed doesn't matter that much in case of Mullvad, as it's still going to be way faster than Tor browser. Next, on pixelscan.net, the situation is pretty much the same. Mullvad browser doesn't even let the website perform the test. I will consider this a good sign as well, as Mullvad is blocking the checker itself, meaning the browser can be a very strong security tool, but only in the right, experienced hands. When it comes to reputation, Mullvad has one of the cleanest records in the privacy industry. The company has never been involved in any data leaks, tracking controversies, or login data scandals. Overall, Mullvad browser is not a daily driver browser due to being more complicated technically, but rather it is a specialized privacy tool for users who need anonymity. It's not built for convenience, speed, or productivity. It's built to protect your identity in sensitive cases. Pretty much it is an alternative for Tor browser. Mullvad will not fit social media managers or casual users, as it will be too restrictive and slow. But for security researchers, Mullvad browser might be one of the most trustworthy options today. And the last but not least, number 7, Mozilla Firefox. Firefox is one of the oldest and most established browsers, still actively present in the privacy and open source space. Developed by the Mozilla Foundation, a US-based nonprofit, Firefox has been around for more than 20 years and remains one of the few major browsers not built on Chromium. That makes it a valuable option for users who want an alternative engine and less dependence on Google. Firefox is completely open source and free to use, and it's widely recognized for its transparency and privacy policies. Unlike most commercial browsers, Firefox doesn't sell user data, and the data collection can be fully disabled in the settings. There are extra features like enhanced tracking protection and total cookie protection, both of which isolate websites from seeing each other's data. As for privacy, Firefox sits in the middle between user-friendliness and configurability. It doesn't have the full anonymity protection of Mullvad or GoLogin, but it allows for deep manual customization for those who want to tweak every security setting. Users can also harden Firefox using custom profiles like ArcandFox, which gives a more protected setup. On the usability side of things, Firefox is known for stability, add-on support, and smooth performance. However, Firefox team has had its own share of controversies over the years. In the past, some critics have pointed out that Mozilla received significant funding from Google, which pays to remain the default search engine, raising natural concerns. This and other mentions were not major privacy scandals, still they did take some of Mozilla's reputation away. Now let's move to the technical tests. The broken certificate test works perfectly, like with all other browsers. Firefox shows a clear warning as expected. Next, the Browserbench Speedometer gives Firefox a 33. A decently good result around Brave and GoLogin area, while only Vivaldi checked in far ahead with a 39. Firefox is usually considered a fast enough browser for any daily driver task. On pixelscan.net, Firefox gets 5 out of 5, and this means there is no fingerprinting protection. Even if I turn the security settings to strong modes, it's still 5 out of 5. You can see how the result is completely different from Mullvad browser. Being Firefox based, Mullvad browser blocked pixel scan completely, while Firefox gives all of your data away to the tracking script. Also keep in mind you will need to look for a third-party VPN or paste your own proxy IPs in the settings. Overall, Firefox is a good alternative choice, although maybe less secure than previous options. It's great for users who want something for regular browsing and a bit more distant from Google, but not breaking normal functionality, extensions, profiles and add-ons. It's not as anonymous as Mullvad and not made for business like GoLogin, but it offers a decent long-term daily driver for general use. And we're done. I will make a short recap with my browser nominations. Now that we've gone through all of the contenders list, here's how I would summarize the results. Number 1, best for everyday use Brave browser. Good balance of speed, clean design, built-in VPN and other privacy tools on a level enough for most users. Number 2, best for business and social media security GoLogin. The most secure business solution on the market to avoid restrictions on even the most heavy tracking websites such as social media. Number 3, best free proxy browser OneBrowser. This is a less known solution that shows surprisingly good and secure results in the tests. It will be a great solution if you need to run multiple profiles with built-in IPs and not buy more serious tools like GoLogin. Number 4, best alternative search DuckDuckGo browser. Super simple, great design, good search which is free from ads, although not as anonymous as others and somewhat limited in features. Number 5, best for power users and productivity Vivaldi browser. Has good customization, workspaces and tools, various add-ons, more focus on productivity and less on anonymity. Number 6, best Tor alternative with a VPN Mullvad browser. Mullvad provides Tor-level privacy without Tor's slow speeds. Perfect for those who need to stay anonymous and have a decent VPN on board. Number 7, best Chromium alternative Mozilla Firefox. The most flexible all-round browser for personal use. Great features, privacy control and less or no Google dependency. Now let's move on to the promised bonus part. Bonus number 1 is my rating top 4 browsers to stay away from. I made my list of top browsers also mention the safe online, but they're not. I advise to keep away from these if you're worried about your personal data privacy. Number 1 browser to stay away from, in my opinion, is Google Chrome. It's simple. Chrome collects and sells all kinds of your personal data. Google is notorious for selling personal data to data brokers, so it's definitely not a choice if you're about privacy. Number 2, Safari. Has tricky privacy settings and also has serious data collection from Apple. Also, Safari tends to be more buggy and less comfortable as a daily browser. Number 3, Opera. Opera used to be a way safer browser back in the day, but now it's a Chinese-owned venture, which means your data can probably go anywhere. Plus, built-in VPN is not as transparent compared to Mullvad, Brave or personal proxy IPs. And number 4, AdSpower. This anti-tech browser is heavily marketed if you're looking for a business solution. However, I would advise to keep away from it, as it has recently been involved in a major data leak scandal that resulted in $4 million stolen from users' personal crypto funds. The tool is also owned by a Chinese company, so you won't be able to find out who has your user data and how they use it. And bonus number 2, as promised, I'm sharing an exclusive discount, 50% off your first month of GoLogin with my personal bonus code SECURE50. As I mentioned, GoLogin is the perfect option if you're looking for a business tool to keep your social accounts isolated and safe. This browser is a commercial solution, and I name it the most secure from this category. It actually keeps your account safe on even the most difficult websites like LinkedIn, Reddit and other social media platforms notorious for heavy tracking. Enjoy working without blocks and restrictions. Alright, so that wraps up my top 7 secure browser comparison. Thanks for watching, stay safe online, and I'll see you in the next one.